So I thought it might be interesting to have a view from back here of me opening the tent, but I also figured it would be kind of interesting to have the GoPro on my head as I open the tent, so that way you get two different views of how to open the tent, and obviously you get to see firsthand what it's like to actually open it. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the GoPro looks like it's in a decent position. And then we'll get started. Okay, so this is the Go Overland Voyage. Let's go ahead and open it up. Oh, hello, little spider. Made a little nest in there, that's fine. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to undo all the Velcro along all the sides here. This part is super important. See these buckles? You gotta unbuckle this. Hopefully there's no other spider that decides to jump out and bite me. Okay, same thing. There's a buckle. You might not be able to see it. It's right in here. Unbuckle that. So this tent really takes no time at all to set up. So the important part is when you're doing these corners here, for example, you want to make sure the material is all the way folded, and you can see right here it's all the way folded like that. Same way on this side, all the way folded. The reason why I say this is if you don't do this correctly, you'll actually get water that comes into the tent. I found that out the hard way. So unbuckled, unwrapped. Let's go ahead and grab the ladder. You'll notice that this tent doesn't take incredibly too long to actually open. Once all that's cracked, go ahead and grab it, pull it down. You'll also notice that I don't have the tent even. I'm not a huge stickler when it comes to how flat the tent has to be or has to not be. So for me, it doesn't matter that the tent's all that level, just as long as I can get in and out of it no problems, which, judging on that, that looks good. So let's see, the windows are already open as soon as you unfold the tent, and that's one of the things that I love about this tent is once it's folded out, it's already done essentially. All you have to do is fix the awning, which I'm going to do here in a second. Okay, there you go. As you can see, the Go Overland Voyage is now open. The awning is stretched completely across. And let's go ahead and review this. But before I get into reviewing it, I bought something that's super overlandy that everybody made fun of me for, but I'm going to put it on anyways. So allow me to go do that, and I will be right back. Let's go ahead and go over the Go Overland Canada Voyage that you saw me just put up. As you can tell, I've had this tent for quite a while. I've had it all the way to the East Coast. Next year we're going to Colorado with it, and I want to just go over some of the features that the new models have versus the model that I currently have, which I think was one of the first, I guess, prototypes. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about it. You notice that I have a Go Overland privacy shelter as well, which is something that I'm going to go over at another point, maybe this weekend even. But as you can see, this is the Voyage. It comes with 2 shoe bags, winter insulation kit, features a giant, let me just get up here for you, features a large back bay window, which currently is closed. Not 1, but 2 skylights. In this tent you have an abundance of light, no matter where you look, left or right, at the back, at the front, and obviously at the roof. The windows self-deploy, as I mentioned earlier, and honestly that makes getting this tent open super quick. I know with a lot of the other hard shell tents, when you open them, you still have to put rods in for the windows, so you don't have to worry about that with this tent. Should also mention that with this tent, it does have a removable fly. I've taken it off once. I found that the fly tends to make a lot of noise if you're in direct wind, either to the left on the backside or to the right on the front. If wind catches it, it just flaps like crazy. It is held on by these here, as well as Velcro at the very top, and obviously on this side over here with this loop as well. The other thing that I want to mention is you saw the big back bay window. Obviously now when it rains out, you would expect, oh, water's going to get in. It doesn't. It does run directly onto that back window, which I've kind of discussed, but it is a design of the tent. So, but I've never had any leakings there, and obviously beautiful skylights, as you can see. It does come with an LED light inside, which I'll turn on later. And when the winter insulation kit's in, you can also use the LED light within inside that insulation kit. All newer generations of these tents will have a diesel heater port, LED light, anti-condensation mat, as well as the cold weather insulation kit. So you are really getting a complete package when you shop and get a tent from Go Overland Canada. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I went with one of those versus something like, you know, iCamper and Sky Tent. The owner of Go Overland is super open to ideas, super open to feedback, and he actually relies on that feedback to make upgrades to these tents. It was Go Overland's quality and their customer service that really brought me into it and made me feel like that was the right choice to make when purchasing my rooftop tent. Other things to mention about this tent is when the rain fly is off, you still do get your skylights, and you can actually zip them open and stand up through them. So, you know, I'm kidding, but you could, if you really wanted to, kind of treat it like a blind. You know, I'm just kidding, Ministry of Natural Resources and Wildlife. But yeah, you could take this off. You can zip open the skylights and start blasting some fools. So I already started. I obviously put the awning away. I left the windows open. You can open them or close them, doesn't really matter. It would seem if the tent is wet and going away wet, make sure that you're obviously airing it out once you get home. Now I might have, no, I missed my, yeah, I missed the last time. I had to loop these up and over here like that. So, and again, it really is just easy as tucking the fabric back in like this, Again, you see how wet this is? This definitely is going to need to be aired out and dried. These are the awning pieces for the self-deploying windows. I always try and tuck them in a manner that it will catch on this. Strap that down. That looks and feels good there. This one's always a pain because I have to get between the truck and the tent in order to grab it. I'm also pretty sure my bracelet's in there in the tent, but we'll find out when I open it the next day or two. Really, it should be opened as soon as I get home, but because of our current living arrangement, which is thankfully about to change, I'm not able to open the tent all the way because it's a parking lot. So I'm just trying to get all this fabric behind there like that. Tuck that in, and then I'll start with this corner. Try to get it down. Again, the first time I was putting this away, I was very gentle, thinking like, oh, I'm gonna wreck it. This fabric is really, really durable. It can be moved and positioned and pulled on without any rips or tears, so don't be afraid to be a little rough with it if you have to. The biggest thing with putting away this tent when it's wet is obviously be prepared to also get wet. So because I can't quite get the rest of the fabric, I just open up my third window and make sure that that's velcroed completely. Obviously, with it being Velcro, over time I expect to see some wear and tear or Velcro not sticking as well. But so far, it's been pretty good. The top piece here tends to not stick as well, but everything else is good. Good. On the new models, which my brother has, all this fabric that's underneath here, there's actually a loop that attaches from the bottom of the tent here and actually keeps it all in there. It's nice and snug, so you don't have to wrestle with it too much. How you doing over there? that's basically done. I just have to take the ladder off now, which I tend to do while I'm up here. Let that water drain out of it just a little bit. There you go. Completely and fully packed away. It's that simple. I don't know how long that was. Maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes.